Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into Moose Motion, and welcome to the new mini-series of my YouTube channel where we're basically going to be going through all of my old armature dolls and, well, fixing them up and prepping them for new animations. First up, well, the Spinosaurus aegypticus, my personal favorite dinosaur. Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well, and thank you for tuning into Moose Motion. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed the content, comment below what you think, share with your friends, and perhaps consider subscribing if you're new, and be sure you have your post notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new content. Anyway, thank you for your support, it's highly appreciated. P.S. The Spinosaurus wasn't picked because it was my favorite. Well, it was done through the, well, traditional eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Catch your T-Rex by its toe. But ultimately, the Spino will be the first dino to go. Now, ultimately, I must admit I was pretty excited because, well, Spinosaurus aegypticus is my personal favorite dinosaur, and, well, I was happy to work on it once again. However, getting through this video was definitely not easy because, well, Spinosaurus obviously has those giant neurospines on its back, and given that this thing is quite a large sculpture on top of it all, trying to work around the giant neurospines on top of it while filming everything was just kind of a pain in the butt, setting me behind schedule yet again, but that's kind of the normal when you're working on, well, giant dinosaurs and performing surgery on them, I suppose. You can't exactly rush these type of things, especially when you're talking about a list of problems that starts with, well, a fractured skull, a broken jaw, broken tail, broken teeth, broken toes. Well, there's a lot of things that unfortunately just kind of are broken. But I must admit that is kind of the norm for a lot of these armature dolls, and a lot of the time it happens while you're in the middle of doing a stop motion, well, film, which is generally not the, well, most pleasurable experience a lot of the time because you're trying to fix something and get it perfectly back into position that it once was. You can do as much prep work as you can to, well, prevent that, which is why we're kind of here, obviously. However, that's, well, just sometimes a problem that you're gonna have to deal with, because once you start taking photos, there isn't really exactly going any back, well, or any undo button for stop motion, unfortunately. Now, one of the other problems our Jessicasaurus is suffering from, yes, you heard me correctly, this thing's name is Jessicasaurus. It's named after one of my friends, and, well, if you would like to learn more about Jessicasaurus, or my Spinosaurus, also known as Scarface, due to all of, well, the battle scars that's on its face, be sure to check out my Facebook page or Instagram page for, well, more things on the Spinosaurus and, well, updates in between videos, so that way, well, you know I'm still hard at work even though I may or may not have a YouTube video posted up. At any rate, she was suffering from some major discoloration, so she definitely needed good raking, and now it's time to fix some of the broken bones. Now, one other thing I did kind of want to do during this video was, well, unfortunately, it pains me to slightly say this, is remove a bit of details, mainly the osteoderms on the legs, because, well, every time I did some stop motion projects with this thing in the past, they were just really becoming a big problem and splitting around the knee joints and various other problems, so it's basically impossible to really ever show this thing's legs in any sort of shot without it looking very questionable. So basically those had to be kind of completely redone and rip the osteoderms off. Now, for those of you who may not be as, well, familiar with dinosaur terms as, well, somebody like me who is a bit of a dinosaur nerd, an osteoderm is essentially a tough set of scales or skin that's generally placed on, say, an alligator and or popularly known on Ankylosaurus. Sorry, I'm very tired. I'm trying to pronounce these large Latin names. It isn't exactly very easy. At any rate, they're usually known for plates of armor to, well, basically help protect the animal. Now, it's not exactly scientifically confirmed that Spinosaurus had osteoderms, but given the fact that the skull has been closely, well, represented to a crocodile, and it's basically the whole scientific debate for whether or not dinosaurs have lips, this dinosaur has been kind of known to, well, not have it and been more of a crocodile style. I figured it's probably somewhat okay to keep the osteoderms on it, just, well, because it looks cool, even though there's no scientific fact. Hopefully it doesn't change anytime soon, because, well, that's happened once before on this channel when I was doing my T-Rex and it had feathers on it, and, well, then 2 months later, skin impressions were found, and then I had to go remove and do a haircut on Sue. And if you'd like to see that, be sure to check out the links in the post description below. There you will find links to all my other social medias, as well as some other YouTube videos. Now, seeing how we're on some tail surgery or butt surgery for the dinosaur here, may as well go over some more interesting Spinosaurus facts. In 2020, unfortunately, during that horrible pandemic, there was one really cool, dinosaur discovery, which involved, Spinosaurus, believe it or not, which is why we're kind of talking about the tail. Well, it basically was the very first semi-aquatic dinosaur technically ever discovered at this point, and has sparked a bit of a trend in some other dinosaurs being a little bit more semi-aquatic. As for those of you who have probably seen Jurassic Park Dominion with the, Pyroraptor and its ridiculous swimming aptitude, or Prehistoric Planet with its T-Rex swimming around. That seems a little bit more realistic. However, it has been scientifically confirmed that basically Spinosaurus had a giant newt tail. Basically, the neural spines from its back almost continued onto the tail, causing a big, paddle thing. So this thing basically probably spent a vast majority of its time in the water. So during that discovery, I decided to make my own sculpture representing, the Spinosaurus, and, it's kind of been around ever since and kind of been a pain in the butt. Now that we have, taken the tail apart and removed more details there, we may as well add some parts on, with the osteoderms not going to waste, and putting them on the back here by the neural spines because, I'll be honest, that doesn't really move around a whole lot due to the actual huge sail spine connection. It's actually got a real skeleton under there, so it's not exactly very flexible in the back part, I've noticed, which is probably relatable to the actual animal. And seeing how we're talking about the sail, again, another scientific facts that aren't exactly proven yet. No one exactly knows what that sail was used for, but there's a couple different scientific terms debated on it, whether or not it actually had, a temperature variation or temperature regulation system in it, and or it was just a big display thing. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And seeing how we're on the topic of, debatable scientific facts, there's another debate for Spinosaurus going around, whether or not it basically had webbed feet, because, if it's semi-aquatic and so much like a crocodile, crocodiles generally kind of have slightly webbed feet, so it would only kind of make sense for this monstrosity to have more, duck-like feet, I suppose, to add to the confusion of this giant carnivorous river monster that has a newt tail with duck feet and a giant sail on its back. God, it's so confusing, but that's kind of why I like it. Although, I'll admit, I personally have kind of a thing for weird dinosaurs, period. Therizinosaurus is kind of one that I recently learned about, which I must kind of thank the new Jurassic Park series for, and is definitely going to make it on my list for, in the future dinosaur projects. Anyway, we're going to clean up. see more on this series, be sure to leave a like, comment below what you think, share with your friends, and perhaps consider subscribing if you're new. Anyway, that's not from me. Till next time, take it easy.